Hey everybody, I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey. Not that strange, but just kind of a journey through the thought process of how I try to improve my play following analysis of games, okay? So, but this is particularly looking at opening theory and also looking for lines, because it's really interesting. I've been finding odd lines in openings that I play all the time that I just don't play, right? But that I should. So I found one in the Russo, I think, the other day, bringing the queen out or something like that. It's like, I'd never thought of that, and I've never played it because I always played the same thing over and over. But in fact, through analysis, the engine was able to tell me that there was a better line. And when I looked at it, I went, wow, you're right, fish. Brilliant. Well, here's an example of exactly that. So I played a 5-minute blitz game against this 1399 today, kicked my ass, right? And it's in the Caro-Kann. And this is the analysis. So we're looking at the analysis, okay? And we get a position that I've had 15 times, okay? So we start with this knight c3, they accept the pawn, out we come with the Von Hennig Gambit. Now, the computer disagrees, but hey. In this case, he brings out the bishop first, which I have seen a bunch of times, right? It doesn't matter if they bring out the bishop first and the knight first. The point is you offer the pawn and they double defend this pawn. And that's annoying. Okay, so from this position, okay, there are a few options. Now, what did I do in the game? I brought out my bishop to g5, okay. And then the analysis showed something else. So I'm going to flip over now to the chess.com Explorer. And I have had this position 12, 13, 14, 15, probably 16 times, because I'm sure I had it today, but it's not registered yet on the historical database, okay. So I've had this position about 16 times. That's worth understanding, right? Because I'm playing an over-the-board match tonight. I might get this position tonight. Okay, and what have I done from here? I've done bishop g5 7 times, and I've done all right. 4-3 or 5-2. 5-2, I've done all right there, okay? I've played queen to e2 5 times, I've won 3 of those. And I've captured the pawn, right, twice and lost both games. And then once I played g4. Now g4 is actually a really good move, okay? So going back to the analysis of the game, the engine is now saying, this is what Stockfish Depth 20 is now saying queen, hang on, no, come back. It's saying knight take, no, it can't make up its mind. Knight takes e4 or f takes e4, right? And then g4. But f takes e4, right? Looks like, well, there's 2 attackers on there, there's only 1 defender. So we're capturing a pawn. Oh, so we're not really giving up, we're not really sacking the pawn, we're just capturing towards the center. We will lose the pawn, okay? Now, like we say, I've only played this twice, and I've lost both times. But wait. So the next thing I would do is if I notice something like that in the analysis, I might go over to the Lichess player database and see, well, what works out in practice? Is this f takes e4 move that the computer was suggesting good for white? And here, so I'll show you what I've got this set to 1800 and 2000, because that's the level that I'm at now, kind of 1800 Lichess, looking towards 2000. So I want to know what works at this level. So here, bishop g5 is actually the most played move. It's very natural. And white does all right, 50%. The second most played move is fe. Okay? And it's not a free pawn, but it's a trade and you're capturing towards the center, so interesting. And then g4. But the most successful one, we can ignore a3 because it's only 7 games. You really need a minimum of 100 games for it to have any statistical relevance at all. So ignore anything under 100, really. So the most winningest for white is actually f takes e4. And then I go, and then I'll explore that a little bit, okay? Now, so what you can do here as well, you can explore it a little bit in the Lichess Analysis Board Explorer, okay? and say, well, actually, this does look rather good. Okay, so the most common moves, knight takes e4 is played most of the time, and we're winning 51% from there. Bishop takes e4 is not so good. Bishop g4 is bad, right? But that's a minor sideline. So 1.9% means I probably have never seen that. If I'd played this move in all 15 of the times I've had this position, I most likely would never have seen that, because you're looking at 6%, right? This is 1.9. So I can kind of, bishop g4, I can probably just muddle my way through that. But knight takes e4 and bishop takes e4 could be worth looking at, right? So, knight takes e4 is the most common. And now we have knight f3, okay? And we have queen f3, that's quite interesting, And, or knight takes e4, blah, blah, blah. Okay, bishop e3 you can ignore, all these ones down the bottom. But knight takes e4, is kind of balanced. But if we put the engine on, knight takes e4 is the engine move. Okay, so you shouldn't just discount it because it doesn't do well in practice, because there might be something hidden in there that humans aren't very good at finding, and that's what interests me. Okay, so knight f3 is okay, 51 to 43. Queen f3 is worth looking at. But then I was interested in knight takes f3. Obviously, knight takes e4, bishop takes e4. And then, no, this is not the line that I found. So let me go over to the study, and we'll find it, right? So here they take, Von Hennig, double declined. Okay, so we take the pawn, knight takes. Okay, this is the move. Okay, it's the immediate bishop takes f7. This is what I wanted to show you guys, right? So we'll just go back to this analysis board just to check, right? So we take, they take, and look down here. Bishop takes f7. Only been played 15 times, right? But it's got a 53% win rate, and it's my favorite move. So why not? Okay, so flip back again to my study. Now what you can do, if you find a line that you like in this, then you can click the hamburger menu and you can click study, right? And then if you want, you could add it to one of your existing studies. Okay? So I could add it to my Von Hennig Gambit versus Caro-Kann. And you can just do it from there. Okay? Or you can create a brand new study. Okay, so we're not going to do that. So here is my Von Hennig study. And here, if the knight takes, this is the cool move. Bishop takes f7. Excuse me. So obviously I need to remember this. But this is why I'm doing this video. I'm doing this video not just to help you, but to help myself. Right? It's very selfish. Okay, king takes f7 is absolutely forced. Because if he doesn't, if he goes to d7, which has never happened, he just loses. Okay, so the king has to take. And now what? Now what is the point of this? Right? We captured on here to deflect the knight off the f-file. And now queen f3 is a jolly good move. Queen h5 check is not so good. Okay? So now we play queen f3, and the point is now this bishop's pinned. Okay, the king is off the mark. Yes, we're down a full piece, but we're going to recover it. Right, we're simply threatening to take the knight. This bishop is the only defender of that knight, but it's itself pinned. It can't move. So we have lots of threats. Now, most common moves here are, look at this, queen takes d4. We will look at that in the next chapter. Okay. Knight d6 is the move that I found. Actually, knight d6 has only been played twice here. I must have had the level set to different. Okay, knight d6 was the most common move. And now you simply play g4. You attack the pin piece with a pawn. We are going to win the bishop. They push at e6. You win the bishop back. Okay, now black is currently up a pawn, but we are about to castle. Long castle as well. We've got a queen lined up with a king. The king is off the mark. The king can't castle. The rooks are going to be slow getting out into the game. And how do we do from here? This position has been reached 9 times, and white has won 6 of those games. Right? So, all jolly good position. And this seems absolutely fine. Let's play a few more moves. Bishop f4. If the queen comes out with check on e7, the bishop just drops back and hits the queen. Okay. Notice the bishop is also looking at this knight. And we're doing absolutely fine there. Okay. I mean, the engine says it's dead equal. But, this position has only been reached once. And shall we see what happens? You can also click on the games as well. Okay, they grab this pawn, and then knight g to e2. We've almost completed development. We're hitting the queen, and we're plus 2.4 from that position. Okay, so that's a game that's only been played once, but you never know, it might come up tonight. Right, now let's look at the blunder line. Okay, Caro-Kann, Von Hennig with the bishop out. We just leave that pawn there. Bishop comes out, knight comes out, don't really matter. Okay, this position, we take the pawn, knight takes, boom, bishop sack. There we go. Okay, king has to take, queen f3 pins the bishop. Now, queen takes d4 is actually the most played move from here, and it's just terrible. Why is it terrible? Well, the bishop's undefended for starters, so we simply win our bishop back. The king has to retreat. Oh no, the king's in check, so he's going to have to go back here or here, because unless the knight blocks. So most common move is almost always knight blocks. There we go. And after knight blocks, we develop our other knight. Okay, again we're hitting the queen. Again we're threatening to come in with check. We're going to be able to castle either side. Black is not going to be able to castle at all. We are plus 3.7. Most common move here now is to try and trade queens. And we simply come in with knight e5. Believe it or not. Yeah, queen d7 has been played 5 out of 16 times. The most common move. And royal fork, there you go. Okay? Yeah, you're liking this yet? You're liking it? You like a bit of it? Okay. Let's have another look at one more line. Okay. The Von Hennig. Kind of, they decline the second pawn, they double defend. We capture, now if the bishop takes, this is actually worse. Because knight takes, then queen e2, and white is plus 0.4 already. Queen e2, they always play knight f6, and then you can simply develop your knight. This position has been reached 6 times, white has won 5 of those games. Okay, let's see how they tend to pan out. They'll push e6, obviously trying to just block the route to f7. We can now play knight e5, knight into the center. If queen captures here, oh dear, that seems to be a mistake. Let's mark it as a mistake. Why? No. Knight takes f7. And king takes f7 just... Oh, what? If king takes f7, you capture on e6, and it's a forced mate in 6. Sweet Mary. Okay, the king can't retreat, and it's a forced mate. Let's see it, okay? So, obviously, no, right, he has to come here. Then queen f7 flushes the little bugger out in this direction. No, he can't go there or there. So this again is forced. Rook f1. And there's 3 potential moves here. But he's going to get crushed. Wow, well, I will figure that out over the board. Okay, but wow. Wowzers in my trousers. Okay. So, let's go back to the start. And see where we peeled off. Okay, we take knight, bishop takes is a mistake, because we take, knight takes, then queen e2. Hitting the knight. Knight comes back, we play knight f3, e6, most common move. Queen a5 check is also an option here, but that's only been played once. So I'm gonna go with the move that's been played 5 times. We play knight e5, centralizing our knight. We're in an equal position here. Queen takes d4, played a bunch of times. Knight takes f7. Yeah, this is just worth playing over a few times. What a move! because this is just crushing. Wow. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else worth going through, to be honest, in that line. Okay, so, but here's the point. So I woke up this morning, I played me some blitz, and I didn't have any idea about this. Right, I got a line that I thought, I do well in this, and I do well in this. But I win about two games out of 3, something like 65%. But then this comes out, and I know what to do. Machine actually says G4 here, which might be worth a look, but hey, we've just found a really sexy line. And if the knight comes out, like I say, I've had this 16 times, now I know what to do. Right? There's nothing wrong with what I've done before, but I'm rolling the dice a bit more there. Yeah? How often is your average Caro-Kann player going to get into this situation? Once in a blue moon. Right? But I've prepared for it. So that's the point. Okay, and look out, later on, I've got another one coming up in the King's Gambit as well, a kind of anti-King's Gambit line, so look out for that. But I hope this is interesting for you, not only if you follow the Von Hennig Gambit, but also just the process and the tools that are available for us to improve our play. And the point is, all of this started with me losing a game. I lost the game, I went back to, even though it's a 5-minute blitz, don't matter, I went back to analyse it, where did I go wrong there? And I stumbled across a little golden thread, and I pulled on it, and I pulled on it, and I came up with some very interesting options. So I'm going to add that, I'm going to study it a little bit myself, I'm going to add my notes. This study, of course, is free, so you can come along and play with it, test it out for yourself, copy it. If you want to duplicate it and make your own version, you're very welcome. Thanks for watching. See you later.